Welcome to Women Insurepreneurs, the podcast empowering female insurance agents to thrive in the industry. Join us as we dive into the world of insurance entrepreneurship, share success stories, and provide invaluable insights through the lens of female entrepreneurship. Let's unleash the power of women in insurance together. Welcome to another episode of Women Insurepreneurs. Today is going to be a fun one. We are interviewing our very own Sonia Rodriguez. She's just coming off from a high energy, fun insurance event. So I want to pick her brain on her, what she experienced and things of that nature. So Sonia, can you first tell us what the name and theme of that event was?
Well, I went to the main event in Branson, Missouri, put on by Impact Legacy Group. Shout out to Impact. They had several speakers, not just insurance agents that succeeded in the field, but also speakers that came on like John O'Leary, a great author, Joe Goldberg. He's the broadcaster for the Kansas City Royals. Grabbed both of their books, right? Because I'm a reader. So I grabbed both of their books. Very inspirational, very moving. Not just to mention the impact that change and adjustment brought to their lives. So that was pretty interesting. A great time.
Nice. And what motivated you to attend that event?
Well, it's always great to see people succeed in your field, right? It's always great to see top producers and agents that have made an impact in their business and what they've done to do so. There was also going to be several breakout sessions and trainings that I really wanted to attend. It's different when it's online than when you're there with a representative of a certain company or certain events that certain products that you want to see up close and personal. To get the training from those people from the company themselves, it's totally different than just logging on to a training online.
Right. And what were your expectations going into the event, and did it meet those expectations?
Well, honestly, my expectations were just to absorb as much knowledge as I could from the training sessions and, get to listen to our top producers. I was floored. I completely exceeded my expectations when it comes to what I received as far as not just energy, not just knowledge, but a sense of empathy for everybody else in the business, because it shows, the scaling, and it shows the work that's put in it for one to grow their agency, their business, and the grit that it takes to continue in our business.
Yeah. Can you name maybe one or two speakers that you think left a lasting impression on you?
Letitia Jackson was one of the speakers that I really connected and could really relate to. She was a single mom, starting off with zero, had to move back in with her parents, and then she built this tremendous agency, and just to hear her story. And then, of course, Roger Short. Shout out to Roger. Yes, another one was Cody Askins, actually. He came on. He was, from 8% Nation. He was there, and I love how, you think that, because that's Brian Askins' son, but he's been through it. His business was about to fall apart, and I could really relate to him, because look what we're trying to build now, right? We're trying to build this podcast, and we're trying to build this YouTube channel, and he started from zero. Like, I could relate to him. It's like people would tell him, "Why are you even making these videos? Nobody's paying attention to you. Who cares?" And he's the top number of videos for insurance that are out there. He has his own convention, 8%. Like, so I could really relate, because of our mission, our Women Insurepreneurs mission. I could really relate with Cody Askins as well.
That's awesome. And do you feel like you had any specific goals or objectives in mind when you were attending this event? And do you feel like you were able to achieve them, if any?
My only goal was to absorb as much as possible when it came to networking, right? I wanted to pick people's brains and speak to people and listen to them. A huge mistake that people make is that they talk more than they listen. It's like, I don't need them to know about me. I want to know about you, and it was a great opportunity to network and speak and listen to people tell their story and speak about their business and speak about what works for them and what's been working for them. So that was something that I wholeheartedly wanted to get, and I did. Thankfully, I was able to achieve that and more, right? I got some connections for our podcast. to be future guests, and it's something that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, that actually leads into the next question I was going to ask you was how did the networking opportunities at the event contribute to your overall experience?
Well, I mean, as I mentioned, that was one of my main goals, right? To make sure that I network as much as possible with people that I normally wouldn't speak to online, even though we're all connected via social media. It's just introductions. They're like, oh, that's you. Let me connect, and I had several people jump on to follow Women Insurepreneurs, which was
Hmm.
another one of my goals as well, right? Try to get our name out there and our information out there. So I think it was successful to the point of we're going to have future guests on here because of the event.
Yeah,
And then just different opportunities for myself as an agent. I think it really it worked out.
that's awesome. Do you think there
Yeah.
were any unexpected insights or takeaways that you gained from the event that maybe you weren't expecting? You may have mentioned some already, but
I think the unexpected ones were the humbleness of those top producers. That's one thing that keeps shocking me. I want to say shocking me because I've been part of an MLM before where it's like you're a high producer, so you have like this gaudy image, and
mm,
these people were so humble and they're like top producers. They're making millions and they're just, you know, the humblest people you can meet. I mean, Jason was there, which is your upline, right?
mhm.
He received several awards, and he's just the most humblest man. He's just talking to people, and it's just something that I was like, wow, I was blown away by. I was seriously blown away by.
So sidebar off topic, but we have a good IMO because, like she said, um, these people at the top are willing to help people. They're willing
Yes.
to pour into you. They're humble, so they're approachable, right? And I too have
Yeah.
not experienced that in the past, so it's awesome
Hmm.
to be able to say that not only can I connect and relate to you, but I can pick your brain, and you don't see me as
Yes.
your competition, even though technically I am.
And something that actually happened at the beginning of the convention, there was this gorgeous woman, right? She came up to me and one of my colleagues and she said, "Oh, she was mentioning something about the backdrop of the pictures and if we wanted her to take our picture." She was
Hmm.
just the sweetest woman and she was so nice. And I'm like, gee, I wonder what agency she belongs with. Turns out it was Brian Askin's wife.
Mm.
So I was like, oh my God, she was just so, humble. I mean, this is a woman that, I mean, she has a lot of money, you know what I mean? But it's one thing that I've noticed with our organization that doesn't sway people to act one way or another. It just doesn't, and that keeps on impacting me. No pun intended, right? But it keeps on impacting me of the humbleness and the true integrity of people in this organization. So it was something that I was like, really, really shocked by. Not shocked. It's something that I was really pleased to experience.
Yeah, it's refreshing to be around that.
Yes,
Um,
that's a great word
so,
for it.
yeah, yeah. In what ways do you believe attending industry events like the one that you just came from contribute to your growth as an entrepreneur in the insurance industry?
I think events like this are important, really important. And let me tell you why. It shines the light on your business, on what you're doing, your potential
Hmm.
for growth, and it gives you, as I mentioned, examples of people that have been through it. How many of us entrepreneurs have been, being in the insurance business or not, right? When you're an entrepreneur, you're struggling, right? And you
Hmm.
know this. You struggle, man, am I doing this right? What's the point? Blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's like you feel like, man, I suck at this. Like, why am I even doing this? But then you realize there's people that have gone through it and succeeded. They've been in your place. So it lets you see that there's people out there that you can relate to that are in the same shoes that you're in or once were in the same shoes. And I'm not
Hmm.
talking about people that have been in the industry for like 10, 15 years. I mean, Kevin and Alyssa, right? Roger spoke about them. Shout out to Kevin and Alyssa, but Roger spoke about them and about their story, how at last year's event, I mean, unfortunately I couldn't attend last year's event, but last year's event they showed up with like $80 in their bank account, and now they're closing like what 30 grand a month. You know what I mean? So it's like they didn't speak about people that have been doing this for years. This was last year, a change that can happen in a year, and sometimes you need to hear those stories. Sometimes you need to be there, and as I mentioned before, the networking aspect of it. I mean, that's so much free knowledge, free publicity, free marketing, right? Because you don't know who you're speaking to sometimes, and that could be either the bulb that goes off in your head, or it could be the connection that you needed to achieve better results within your organization or within your agency.
Yeah, looking back, what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs considering attending similar events, industry events in the future?
Take the chance and go. I mean, yeah, it's an investment in yourself, and it's an investment in your business and in your agency, because at the end of the day, you learn so much, not so much from the breakout sessions or the speakers, but from your own colleagues that normally, obviously, we all connect through social media, right? Seeing that person in real life, it's totally different. You get to connect, you get to network. These events are important also if you have an agency. If you take your team members, right? Kevin and Alyssa took several of their agents, and it wakes something up in you, and
Yeah.
it makes like, man, this is impactful, this is powerful. So it helps, when it comes to your agency, it helps as well because it lets your agent see the growth, the potential in themselves and their business. So I think these events are extremely important.
Yeah. And how would you say this particular event differed from maybe any other industry events that you've attended in the past?
Well, I've actually attended a couple of events in the
Mhm.
past when I was part of an MLM, and the biggest difference was once again the humbleness, right? You see so many people with MLM that go up on stage and they've been doing this for 10, 15 years, and so, and not to throw shade on anybody, but very godly, like, look at me, not
Mhm.
like, not so much as look at yourself in me, try to
Mm.
relate to me. How am I going to relate
Right.
to someone? Um, it's hard for people to relate to someone that's there, because maybe that all that flashiness isn't something that drives people. And that's one thing I've noticed with Impact. It's
Mhm.
not, all the material stuff and the flashy stuff. It's not what moves these people, and it's like when you find your people, you succeed, right? And I feel that Impact is really, my Impact is really where I fit in, because, when you're with so many like-minded people that are striving to help other people, not just
Mhm.
in the insurance business, but to help people grow their business, it's a huge difference, and it's not like this huge spectacle like the Oscars or anything like that. This event was very relatable with every single speaker, and very, it gave you a lot of perspective as, to how you impact your business with how much you put into it, not just hearing someone speak about themselves up on stage or because they love hearing themselves speak. They're up there, um, in a sense, wasting your time because they're not giving you anything that's conducive of you growing your business or your agency. So that was a huge difference for me. Huge
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah, I got to attend the Power Producers in Los Cabos,
Oh, that's
Mexico.
right.
We talked about this before, and I agree wholeheartedly with everything that you're saying regarding the events. And I think something for me that stands out is the sidebar conversations that can happen at
Yeah.
these events. Right, those relationships that you're building, especially if it's somebody that, like for us, we want to meet the people that we work with in our IMO, because we're all in different places and you're in telesales,
Hmm.
so it can be kind of lonely. So for that was the biggest thing for me, is I wanted to meet in person with the people that I work with. It's, yeah, I
Yeah.
see them on Slack and we all encourage each other on Slack and all that, but when I got to actually sit by the fireplace at it's these low key sidebar events, or grab a quick breakfast with someone that works for the same company that I work with, that's what really encouraged and poured
Yeah.
into me. And I still remember it from that day. And this, there's people that we've even planned trips with, like, because we connected. And our company, they are so welcoming and so opening. So I'll piggyback off of what you said, because that was my first time meeting them, and they were so encouraging. They were like, "Well, we've been seeing you on Slack and reporting your
Mm.
numbers, and we've been wanting to meet you." And I'm like, "Oh my God, like little old me, you guys,
Yeah.
like now it's awesome to put a face to the name." And they're just awesome. Like, I mean, obviously we're biased here, but by now you should know that we keep it real.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
You know what? You're so right. It was those sidebar conversations that not just because I mean, obviously producers can, we're all in sales, we know what to say, but not just from the producers and the agents, but their spouses,
Hmm.
right? The humbleness. These are women that are married to men that are making 6, 7 figures, right? Some of them 8, and they're humble. I mean, they're walking around holding hands or on the arm of this top producer, but they still speak to you like if you're just another girl in the room, like very humble and very, just the family themselves. It goes to show that they come from a good place. It's not just the show, it's the integrity of the whole family. So that
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
And I think that genuine people are attracted to other genuine people.
Yes.
And that's what you said, right? Like, I can't relate to the other events, the people at the events that I've attended, because I assume like it's not so much that they're making money and they're buying these nice things, but it's just like the authenticity, right? Like,
Yes.
am I genuinely connecting with you versus someone that once that they can hop off the stage and meet me in the back and be that same person off stage, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes. Somebody that was genuine like that I wasn't expecting. I was expecting for him to be like completely different was Cody Askins. Same
mm,
person, same energy on stage, same person off. He sees you like, hey, let's take a picture. I'm like, okay. Hey, let's jump into this picture. You know what I mean? And it's like, why would you want to take a picture with me? You've been doing this for a decade or so. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like you said, same person on stage, same person off stage, and once again, the authenticity behind it.
mhm.
It's amazing.
Yes, yeah, and those connections that you've built, like you said, people are joining our podcast. People have already poured into you.
Hmm.
You've now built friendships with these people. So these events, I encourage you ladies that are listening to attend. I didn't mention this before, but I think that we should plan a women's event.
Yeah, of course. Isn't that in the works? Isn't that we said from the beginning, right? We're gonna do it all the way to the top, and it's
Yeah.
okay to start planning now. Why not? Get us an event going, a breakout session or whatever. Um, but yeah, of course, that's in the future for
Yes,
sure.
yes. And if you ladies would like that, put in our comments uh, on social media, YouTube, whatever, so we can know that, you would be someone that would attend. But we would love to be able to do that same type of event geared towards women so that you have that space to feel like, okay, I'm connecting with the other women speakers,
Yes.
and just discussing the unique challenges that women go through, right? This is
Hmm.
a male dominated industry. It's shifting, but it's still very male dominated. So um, stay tuned because that is in the works, guys. We're
Yes,
excited about that.
of course.
Awesome. Well, Sonia, thank you so much for taking the time to, let me pick your brain and just really encourage other women to attend these events. I appreciate you.
For
All right. Well, we'll see you guys on the next one.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Women Insurepreneurs. We hope you feel inspired and equipped for your journey in the insurance industry. Subscribe for more empowering conversations and connect with us on Instagram at Women Insurepreneurs. Make sure you join our meetup group so you don't miss any of our events. Until next time, keep shining and pursuing your dreams. Remember, your potential knows no bounds.